Golden Goose sneakers have been skyrocketing in popularity with the iconic star on the side, the pre-worn look. People are willing to pay nearly $600 for a pair of them. So we're gonna cut these in half, run them through our test to really figure out why they cost $600, how much are they actually worth, will people continue buying them after they see what's inside of them, and is this just designer price or is there anything on the inside that can justify that $600 price tag? And Golden Goose is a pretty mysterious brand because they started in 2000 in Venice, Italy. It was founded by Francesca Rinaldo and Alessandro Gallo as an Italian luxury fashion brand specializing in footwear. In that year, they launched their collection of high fashion sneakers, differentiating themselves with the durable craftsmanship and signature pre-worn look. Then in 2007, they launched their superstar models with the signature 5-point star, this iconic look that has been copied by a lot of other brands that's really put Golden Goose on the map and what really distinguishes it from all the rest of the sneakers. Then through the 2010s, they continued to grow larger and larger, started gathering this cult following, celebrities started wearing their shoes. You can see that in the Google Trends lineup here. Other than that, there's really not a lot of information on Golden Goose. They're kind of a secretive brand with claims about fame for quality craftsmanship and materials when it comes to production, handcrafted in Italy and made from premium smooth Italian leather for durability and comfort. And then by 2013, last year, Golden Goose reported $500 million in annual revenue and expanded their line into $400 belts, $1,000 leather totes, $300 kid shoes, and even Gen Z has picked up Golden Goose. It's all over TikTok. So what is the shoe that we have? The brand is Golden Goose. The style is a superstar classic. They weigh 13.5 ounces. They retail for a steep $585 before shipping, before tax, and they're made in Italy. And the way they position this is a timeless icon, yet one that's consistently evolving. At Golden Goose, we love to take our classics and rework them all the time, always from new angles. These superstars with the white leather upper feature a red suede star, a dark green leather heel tab, the ice gray suede insert on the back, and gray laces add the finishing touch. So it seems like a lot of claims about high quality materials, great construction. So it really seems like they're trying to position this shoe as a super high quality shoe worth $600. Thanks to Anvil for sponsoring this video because I got two cool things I want to show you. The first one is check out the camera harness. Happened to be stolen by Twisters, the movie. Refused to give us any credit. And for the most part, it's pretty cool. But if you haven't seen how we can prove that they stole this patented camera harness that I designed like 5 years ago, go watch that video. But if you're just looking for a nice camera harness, if you got a single camera and you're sick of all that weight going around your neck, I designed this Lone Bandit camera harness to solve that exact problem. So you might notice that camera has no weight on it because it's hooked to my belt. All that weight of the camera when it is on your shoulder gets distributed across this whole back and shoulder piece, adjustable underneath here, adjustable chest strap, and it's pretty freaking cool. And that's probably why they stole it. The other thing I want to show you was this giant box of insoles from all the brands that we've worked with, from a bunch of like the actual insole brands, leather ones, running ones, high impact, and this we did all of them to do research for one of our up and coming insoles. But during that research, we stumbled upon this thing. It's the same problem everyone has with heritage boots. High quality, they're really durable. With standing on leather all day, but leather can be pretty hard. So we made the boot breakers. It's super simple. It's just 2 millimeters of high impact foam, a durable fabric on top. Slide that right into your heritage boot, trim it up, and you get a little bit of squish while still having all the heritage qualities. It's not going to change your sizing. It's pretty affordable, and it solves that problem of heritage boots being just a little bit too hard. So check them out, and thanks for supporting our Anvil products so that we don't have to show you all those boring ads. We can just show you what I'm passionate about, what we're working on, what we're designing. It's actually relevant to what you love, boots and shoes. So now let's start going through the details and see if it's worth $600. Starting with the leather first, because they say it's a white leather upper, that suede star, and the dark green tab. So we did the burn test on all 3 of them, and all 3 of those are real leather. But what about the quality of the leather? Because in addition to Golden Goose saying these are super premium materials, you look at any write-up, any review of these, and people are just talking, oh, this is the butteriest leather I've ever seen. This is the highest quality leather I've ever seen in a sneaker. It's Italian leather, which apparently means it's gonna be good no matter what, which we know is not true because Italian leather is just like any other place that makes leather. There's high quality, there's low quality. It being Italian leather really means nothing except for it's made in Italy. So then what are the specs on this leather, especially the white leather? Well, it has a really, really heavy pigment layer on top. And the problem with that is it separates from the leather underneath almost immediately. This is up there with some of the worst white leather top coats that we've seen because we didn't really even wear these. And you can see how much all that leather is puckering and it's kind of like old lady skin, if I'm being honest. And it's kind of the same concept. As you lose that elasticity, your skin starts to crumple up. It's losing all that structure on the inside. But let's pretend that the leather doesn't have that really heavy top coat on it. Is the rest of the leather good? Well, we looked at the cross section and there's still some grain in it, but it's been really, really heavily sanded down. We also measured it. It's 1.3 millimeters thick, so about as thin as you really see in sneakers. On occasion, we see 1 millimeter, but usually you see 1.5 millimeters. We did the puncture test on it, took 41 pounds, and it was 98th on the list out of 111. So basically across the board, this leather is just not good. It's got that terrible top coat, not a lot of grain, it's really thin, it separates because that top coat wasn't adhered very well. Is this the leather of a $600 shoe? Not even close. This is what you see in shoes $200 and under, and that's really generous. Like, this is basically Nike quality leather. But maybe they did it on purpose. Maybe part of it is, you know, these look worn out a little bit, and so maybe they thought like, oh, maybe we'll make the leather look really terrible right off the bat as soon as you start wearing it. It honestly could be. I'm half joking, but I'm not. It might be part of it. I doubt it, but what about the lining? Well, the lining, you've got this really, really loose terry cloth, and I kind of like it. I like how chunky it is, I like how big it is, but the problem is it's really, really weak because it's unbacked. It's just really loose fibers on the backside, so you break one of those threads and it's gonna slowly start coming unraveled. And honestly, the closest material I've seen to this is those really, really cheap shop rags, the red shop rags. It's like you put a shop rag as the lining in a $600 sneaker. And the problem with that is it's more prone to failure. It could be more breathable and lightweight, absorb your sweat, maybe more in some linings, but for the most part, it just is a really, really cheap material lining. But fortunately, it's not throughout the entire shoe, because the one part of the shoe that probably is most prone to wearing out on the inside is right here at the heel. And as you can see, it looks like there's a piece of leather. The crazy thing about this shoe is the one spot that is maybe the most prone for failure, they cheapened out the most, because this is a fake leather. We burned it and it just completely shriveled up and melted away. It's super, super thin. It's crazy to do that in a $600 pair of sneakers. But then again, maybe it's made to wear out faster. Maybe it's part of the style. Maybe it's supposed to be beat up on the inside. Maybe it's made to be worn through really quick. I highly doubt it. But is it $600 sneaker lining? No. You'd see this kind of lining in a sneaker like $100 and under. So definitely not $600. But what about the insole? Because this is where it gets so weird. And there's really nothing about this on their website. I've never really heard much about this. But this is like a high heel insole. This is like those insoles you see in the shoes you see on TikTok of like, are you short? You could use a couple extra inches. We'll put these in your shoe and you'll be taller and women will like you more. Like, wear these shoes and no one will ever notice you're walking around on your tippy toes like Ron DeSantis. Because it's like an inch taller than any other regular insole. So maybe some people want the extra height, but for me, when I was wearing these around, that extra heel pushes your toes to the front of the shoe. It gives you kind of a weird balance where it's tipping you forward, and it just feels really uncomfortable. But it seems intentional because it is a true dual density insole, because this gray foam is pretty soft at 20 Shore A, and then this white block throughout the entire heel is more like a 50 Shore A. That doesn't add any comfort, really. And so to me, this whole insole is all about giving the people that buy these shoes an extra inch of height, which is so crazy to me. Because is that what people buy these for? Is it just like the secret thing where it's like, hey, you buy these $600 shoes, nobody really buys them, but like if you need an extra inch, buy a pair of Golden Goose and you can be an inch taller. There's so much that's confusing about this shoe. It doesn't make any sense. And maybe we just got one version that has like the Short King high heel in it, the Ron DeSantis specialty, but I don't know. It's just not comfortable. And then underneath the insole, you can see just has a typical fiberboard. So I'm assuming there's no midsole. But this is where the shoe gets even more confusing, because there's no strobel stitch, so it means it's board lasted, where they take the upper, they tuck it underneath that insole board, glue it down, and you can see there's some nails in the heel. And then for the most part, these higher quality shoes that are board lasted usually have a cup sole, because then you can do the sidewall stitch, it locks everything in place, makes it a really secure and strong construction. But these shoes don't have a cup sole. These shoes look like they're vulcanized. And if you don't know what vulcanized construction is, it's how they make Converse and Vans. It's a really, really old school way of doing things. They take this foxing strip on the outside, wrap it around, put it in an oven, fully curing that rubber, binding it, bonding it to the outsole and the upper. But the problem with vulcanized construction is it's really, really prone to failure. If you've ever owned Vans or Converse, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There are some benefits, more feel underground, cheaper, but it's a $600 shoe. But that's not all of it, because after looking at this for a few minutes, I see glue all the way around this. So I don't even think it's vulcanized construction. I think it's a cemented construction, which is crazy for a $600 shoe, because I would rank quality and durability as cup sole, vulcanized construction, and then cemented. You almost never see a cemented shoe over $100. And so it's like, it's starting to look like this thing is built for failure, which seems crazy because it's so popular and people love it so much, but there's so much wrong with the shoe that it seems intentionally poorly built. So now let's cut this thing in half, and maybe there's some redeeming qualities on the inside. Maybe there's something else that I'm missing that makes these spectacular. Let's cut them in half and find out. Okay, we got these $600 shoes cut in half, which we bought. They weren't like gifted to us or sent to us from Golden Goose. So if you don't mind pushing that subscribe button, it's the only way we can afford to continue buying these really expensive products, just to cut them in half and show you what you're spending your hard-earned money on. So let's see what's inside. So absolutely nothing on the inside that is redeeming at all. You just have the fiberboard and a little bit of that compressed cardboard underneath the heel. That's it. There's nothing else to it. And even this construction is very basic. There's really not much to it. You see shoes, once again, $150 and under that are built just like this. And you can really see how cheap that terry cloth is now and how easily that'd be to wear through, how thin this is, and just generally how cheap the shoe is made. So then why are they $600? Because people are willing to buy basically anything if the right people are wearing it, and the price tag is high enough that it makes it exclusive, that the poorest can't afford these. Only we can afford the Golden Gooses. People just do that. People just like really high priced stuff that is exclusive to them and their budget. So then how much are these actually worth? A generous guess would be like $200 and under. I can't imagine any other shoe company making this and selling this for more than 200 bucks. And that's very generous. Do I think that people are gonna continue buying these for $600 after they've seen what's inside of them? Some people for sure will, because they just don't care about the price tag, and it's totally fine with them just to buy a $600 shoe. What's the difference between $600 and $100? But nobody likes to feel like they got tricked, and Golden Goose is making some ungodly profits on these, because you're not even buying a designer shoe, you're buying a high fashion scam. Even though they say in all the product description their whole brand is around quality materials and durability, they don't care about that. Clearly, this is a terribly built shoe from pretty terrible materials for $600. And to me, this is all about getting people to buy these as many times as humanly possible, over and over and over, because these shoes seem to be somewhat built to fail. I'm not willing to fully say that, but it seems like it. And maybe even more evidence is you can equip your child with some $400 Golden Goose drip. So then is it a designer scam? Well, I think people expect not to get what they pay for with designer stuff for $600. I don't think people are assuming it's $600 worth of shoes, but you'd hope that you'd get at least $300 or $400 worth of shoes, because you can get Crown Northamptons, you can get Goral, some of the highest quality white sneakers made in the entire world for under 600 bucks. At bare minimum, you can get a pair of Koyos for like $250 that are significantly better built than this. And even all the way down to Thursday's white sneakers, $130, and it's even better quality than these. It's like if you put a Ferrari badge on a Hyundai and charged Ferrari prices. And if I was Golden Goose, I'd be a little bit nervous about people realizing that they bought a $150 shoe for $600 and turning on the brand as that perception goes from cool designer stuff that's really exclusive to a walking symbol of out-of-touch consumers. Because their slogan at the end of the day says, "For dream use only, not designed for other activities." And that might be the only true thing that Golden Goose has said about this shoe, because you gotta have your head in the clouds. You've gotta be completely dreaming to wanna spend $600 on a pair of these.